Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic figures. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on the incomparable John Huston, a master filmmaker whose influence still resonates throughout the industry like a rich, velvety echo. With a career spanning over 5 decades, Huston left an indelible mark on cinema, directing classics like The Maltese Falcon, The African Queen, and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Films that continue to captivate audiences with their timeless themes, memorable characters, and masterful storytelling. But before he became a legendary director, John Huston was just a young boy with a passion for storytelling and adventure, his imagination ignited by the vibrant world around him. Born on August 5, 1906, in Nevada, Missouri, John Marcellus Huston was the only child of Rhea and Walter Huston, a Canadian-born actor who would later become a renowned stage and screen performer. The family's early life was marked by frequent moves, as Walter's acting career took them from town to town, eventually settling in New York City, a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and artistic expression. This nomadic childhood would instill in John a sense of adaptability, resilience, and a thirst for new experiences that would serve him well in his future endeavors, allowing him to navigate the ever-changing landscape of Hollywood with ease. As we imagine the Huston family's early years, we picture a household filled with music, literature, and stimulating conversation, a rich cultural environment that nurtured John's creative inclinations. His mother, Rhea, encouraged his artistic pursuits, recognizing the spark of imagination that seemed to run in the family like a golden thread. Walter, on the other hand, was a larger-than-life figure, whose theatrical exploits and colorful stories sparked John's fascination with the performing arts. As a young boy, John would often watch his father rehearse lines, mesmerized by the way he could transform into different characters, a chameleon-like quality that would later become a hallmark of Huston's own directing style. The Huston family's life was not without its challenges, however. Walter's acting career was marked by periods of unemployment, and the family had to rely on Rhea's resourcefulness and thriftiness to make ends meet. Despite these financial struggles, the Hustons maintained a lively and cultured household, filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and lively debate. This rich cultural environment would have a profound impact on John's development as an artist and storyteller, shaping his perspective on the world and informing his creative vision. As John entered his teenage years, he began to develop a passion for writing, pouring his thoughts and ideas into short stories and poetry like a young Wordsworth discovering the beauty of nature. His parents, recognizing his talent, encouraged him to pursue his literary interests, even arranging for him to meet with notable authors of the time, such as Theodore Dreiser. Encounters that would instill in John a sense of purpose and ambition, driving him to hone his craft and make a name for himself in the world of letters. These early interactions with established writers would also introduce Huston to the world of literary realism, influencing his future work as a filmmaker and shaping his approach to storytelling. The early 1920s found the Huston family in Los Angeles, where Walter had landed a contract with a film studio, a move that would prove pivotal in John's life as he began to explore the burgeoning film industry with wide eyes and an open heart. Attending screenings and observing the filmmaking process firsthand, the young John was captivated by the magic of cinema, recognizing its potential to transport audiences to new worlds and evoke powerful emotions like a masterful symphony conductor leading his orchestra through a soaring crescendo. As he navigated his late teens, John's interests in writing, theater, and film began to coalesce, setting him on a path that would ultimately lead him to become one of Hollywood's most revered directors, a journey marked by twists and turns, triumphs and setbacks, but always driven by an insatiable passion for storytelling. As we delve deeper into Huston's life, we find ourselves in the midst of a transformative era, the 1920s and 30s, when cinema was emerging as a major art form and the world was changing at a dizzying pace. The Harlem Renaissance was in full bloom, with writers like Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston redefining the literary landscape. The aftermath of World War I had left an indelible mark on society, with many questioning the values and traditions of the past. It was within this rich cultural tapestry that Huston's creative vision began to take shape, a vision that would be influenced by the tumultuous times in which he lived, yet remained timeless in its themes and appeal. With his family's encouragement and support, John embarked on a journey of self-discovery, exploring the intersections of art, literature, and performance with an insatiable curiosity. He devoured books on history, philosophy, and psychology, seeking to understand the human condition in all its complexity. He attended theater performances, mesmerized by the power of live storytelling, and began to write his own plays and screenplays. Early attempts at crafting compelling narratives that would eventually become the hallmark of his directing style. As John Huston's passion for filmmaking grew, it was as if a fire had been ignited within him, burning brighter with each passing day. He began to pursue a career in the industry with unrelenting fervor, starting as a screenwriter in the early 1930s. The streets of Hollywood were alive with the sound of clicking typewriters and the smell of freshly printed scripts, and Huston was determined to make his mark on this vibrant landscape. His first major breakthrough came when he co-wrote the screenplay for the 1931 film, A House Divided, directed by Wyler. This initial success was a watershed moment for Huston, as it not only validated his talents but also introduced him to the inner workings of the studio system. As Huston delved deeper into the world of screenwriting, he found himself drawn to the works of literary giants like F. Scott Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway. Their writing styles, which often explored the human condition with unflinching honesty, had a profound impact on Huston's own approach to storytelling. He began to see the potential for film to be more than just a form of entertainment. It could be a powerful tool for social commentary and introspection. This initial success led to more writing opportunities, including work on the 1935 film, Death Drives Through, which marked one of his earliest collaborations with the legendary actor Humphrey Bogart. The two men would go on to form a lasting bond, both personally and professionally, with Huston often seeking out Bogart's unique brand of tough guy charisma for his most iconic roles. The mid-1930s found Huston working as a screenwriter for various studios, honing his craft and developing his unique voice. He spent long hours poring over scripts, attending story meetings, and observing the directing styles of his contemporaries. In 1938, he joined Warner Brothers, where he would go on to write or co-write several notable films, including Juarez, 1939, and Dr. Ehrlich's Magic Bullet, 1940. These early writing credits not only showcased Huston's talent, but also demonstrated his versatility as a storyteller, as he effortlessly navigated genres ranging from historical drama to biographical romance. The Warner Brothers lot was a bustling hub of creative activity, with writers, directors, and actors all working together to bring the studio's vision to life. Huston thrived in this environment, feeding off the energy and enthusiasm of his colleagues. Huston's transition from screenwriter to director was a natural progression, driven by his desire for creative control and his passion for bringing complex stories to life on the big screen. He spent years observing the directing styles of his contemporaries, studying the techniques of masters like William Wyler and George Cukor. His directorial debut, The Maltese Falcon, 1941, starring Humphrey Bogart as private detective Sam Spade, is widely regarded as a masterpiece of film noir. This iconic movie's success can be attributed to Huston's meticulous attention to detail, his innovative camera work, and his ability to elicit powerful performances from his cast. The 1940s were a defining period in Huston's career, marked by a string of critically acclaimed films that cemented his reputation as a visionary director. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948, starring Bogart and Walter Huston, John's father, is a prime example of his ability to craft compelling narratives that explored the human condition. This film's themes of greed, morality, and redemption, set against the backdrop of the Mexican Revolution, showcased Huston's capacity for nuanced storytelling and his willingness to tackle complex social issues. The film's production was marked by challenges, including shooting on location in Mexico and navigating the complexities of working with a cast that included his own father. Yet, Huston's direction resulted in a movie that not only entertained but also explored the depths of human nature. Huston's collaboration with Bogart continued with The African Queen, 1951, a wartime adventure film that paired Bogart with Katharine Hepburn. This movie's success was a testament to Huston's ability to balance action, drama, and romance, creating a cinematic experience that captivated audiences worldwide. The film's production was marked by challenges, including shooting on location in Africa and navigating the complexities of working with two strong-willed stars. Yet, Huston's direction resulted in a movie that not only entertained, but also explored themes of loyalty, sacrifice, and the human spirit. The chemistry between Bogart and Hepburn was undeniable, and their performances were infused with a sense of wit and charm that has become iconic in American cinema. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Huston continued to push boundaries as a director, tackling a wide range of genres and subjects. His films, such as Moby Dick, 1956, The Misfits, 1961, and The Night of the Iguana, 1964, demonstrated his versatility and his willingness to take risks. He worked with a diverse range of talent, from Gregory Peck to Marilyn Monroe, and his direction often brought out the best in his actors. The 1950s and 1960s were a time of great change in American society, and Huston's films reflected this shift. He explored themes like identity, morality, and social justice, using his platform as a filmmaker to comment on the issues of the day. As Huston navigated the changing landscape of Hollywood, he found himself drawn to the works of European art house directors like Ingmar Bergman and Federico Fellini. Their films, which often explored the human condition with unflinching honesty, had a profound impact on Huston's own approach to storytelling. He began to see the potential for film to be more than just a form of entertainment. It could be a powerful tool for social commentary and introspection. This newfound appreciation for the art house movement influenced Huston's later work, as he continued to push the boundaries of what was possible on screen. As John Huston's career continued to evolve, he remained committed to pushing the boundaries of storytelling, often exploring complex themes and moral ambiguities in his films. The 1970s and 1980s saw him directing a diverse range of projects, from the mystical drama The Man Who Would Be King, 1975, to the literary adaptation Under the Volcano, 1984. These films were not only a testament to Huston's versatility as a director, but also reflected his own personal growth and introspection during this period. As he navigated the changing landscape of Hollywood, Huston found himself drawn to stories that explored the human condition, delving into the complexities of identity, morality, and the search for meaning. One of the most striking aspects of Huston's later works is the sense of self-awareness that permeates his films. It's as if he was reflecting on his own life and legacy through the characters and stories he brought to the screen. This introspection is particularly evident in The Man Who Would Be King, which tells the tale of two British soldiers who become embroiled in a mystical adventure in the Himalayas. The film's themes of ambition, power, and the corrupting influence of both are classic Huston territory, but there's also a sense of wistfulness and nostalgia that underscores the narrative. As Huston himself noted, "I've always been fascinated by the idea of men who set out to conquer the world, only to discover that the greatest conquest is the one within." The film is a complex, deeply personal exploration of addiction, despair, and redemption, with Huston drawing heavily from his own experiences as a writer and director. As he reflected on the making of the film, Huston noted, "I've always been drawn to stories about men who are struggling to find their place in the world, and Furman is certainly one of those characters." One of Huston's most personal films from this period is undoubtedly Annie, 1982, a musical adaptation that showcases his ability to balance whimsy and pathos. The film's themes of hope, perseverance, and the power of imagination are characteristic of Huston's oeuvre, and its success can be attributed to his skillful direction and the talented cast, including Carol Burnett and Albert Finney. As Huston recalled, "I was drawn to Annie because it's a story about the human spirit, about people who refuse to give up in the face of adversity. It's a very American tale, but also a universal one." The film's iconic musical numbers, including Tomorrow and It's a Hard Knock Life, have become an integral part of popular culture, but Huston's direction brings a depth and nuance to the story that elevates it beyond mere entertainment. In his later years, Huston received numerous accolades for his contributions to cinema, including the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award in 1983. He was also awarded an honorary Oscar in 1986, a testament to his enduring influence on the film industry. As he looked back on his life and career, Huston reflected on the importance of taking risks and pushing boundaries, saying, "I've never been one to play it safe. And I think that's what has kept me going all these years." This willingness to experiment and innovate had been a hallmark of Huston's career from the very beginning, and it's a quality that continues to inspire filmmakers to this day. John Huston passed away on August 28, 1987, at the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire filmmakers and audiences alike. His impact on American cinema is immeasurable, and his films remain a testament to his innovative spirit and artistic vision. Today, Huston is remembered as a true original, a master storyteller who brought complexity and nuance to the screen. As Martin Scorsese noted, Huston was a giant of American cinema, a director who inspired me with his courage, his creativity, and his unwavering commitment to his art. Steven Spielberg echoed this sentiment, saying, "John Huston was a true pioneer, a filmmaker who pushed the boundaries of what was possible on screen." His influence can be seen in so many of us who followed in his footsteps. He was a true Renaissance man, with a passion for art, literature, and music that informed his work and inspired those around him. His commitment to taking risks and pushing boundaries has left an indelible mark on the film industry, and his influence will continue to be felt for generations to come. As Francis Ford Coppola noted, Huston was a master of his craft, but he was also a true artist, a man who saw the world in all its complexity and beauty. He inspired me to be bold, to take risks, and to never settle for the ordinary. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.